You're so famous. You're a legend in your own time.
I think she stands for a lot of things in people's minds.
She's a very talented person from within and without.
Goddess, bitch, media superstar. She's the most famous personality in the world, with hundreds of millions of fans across the globe. She's a versatile artist, as well as a bona fide media mogul. She's a superstar among superstars. A figure so famous, so infamous, she's known the world over by her first name alone, Madonna.
Hollywood, California, capital of the entertainment world. And the queen of that world is Madonna. Hi, I'm Mark Bigo, and nearly 10 years ago I wrote the very first biography about Madonna. Within weeks of its release, it sold 1 million copies. Since that time, the world has watched Madonna rise from a mere pop sensation to her current status as the undisputed goddess of mass entertainment.
But superstardom doesn't come easy, and Madonna knows it. She clings to her supreme status with the ferocity and control of a dictator who suspects a palace coup at any moment. For Madonna, fame itself is power. As long as she can keep them guessing as to what she's going to do next, as long as the world gives a damn, Madonna's monarchy will remain unchallenged. She plays her millions of fans like Itzhak Perlman plays a concerto, with style and with gusto. In the next hour, we're going to look at this incredible phenomenon known as Madonna. We'll hear comments from her fans, her impersonators, her would-be impersonators, her brother, her ex-lover, her former husband, and of course, we'll hear from the goddess herself in rarely seen interview footage. We'll examine the high price of fame and how Madonna has coped with it over the past decade. Plus, we'll let you in on a few surprises that might come as a shock to even the Queen of Shock herself. We're going to go in depth into the world of a performer whose love affair with the camera has made her the most famous woman on earth. This is the story of Madonna, the name of the game.
For Madonna, fame is the name of the game. As much as she's in love with fame, though, she is not consumed by it. She realizes that much of maintaining celebrityhood is marketing and very careful self-promotion. As much of a naturally gifted showwoman as she is, Madonna realizes that it takes a lot more than just talent to stay on top.
She often gets up before dawn to begin a rigorous exercise program in her own private gym. Her workout also includes jogging with her bodyguard in Central Park. Madonna often puts in 4 hours of exercise, not every week, but every day. She's constantly on the cutting edge of fashion, like this Marilyn Monroe look. But mere physical appearance isn't the secret to Madonna's overwhelming success.
Excuse me?
Why do you think you've had so much success?
Because I work hard.
When she's doing a concert tour, she works her performers relentlessly. Everybody stays on the job until the moves are just right. But even her hardest working employees agree that nobody works harder than the Queen herself. When it comes to making a feature film, we're talking 16-hour days that start at 7 in the morning and last well into the night. In addition to her breakneck schedule as a performer and an artist, Madonna devotes a considerable amount of time to running her empire. With that much happening, it seems like Madonna would barely have a chance to relax, let alone take her clothes off. But she even manages that with the greatest of style. We talked to Madonna's older brother, Martin Ciccone, an aspiring rap artist, and he told us that Madonna's had a hard-working streak since her childhood.
I don't know, it was like she was working overtime from Jump Street, you know what I mean? And there was no inclination that she would be famous or a great performer at that time. And I'm not going to tell you any stupid shit like, I knew she was different, you know, from the beginning. I ain't going to go through that, because that's bullshit. But, because who knew? You know what I mean? But she was one hell of a provider.
And Madonna still provides plenty. And not just in terms of her own artistic contributions. She spawned a virtual cottage industry of theme products, from authorized souvenirs to distinctly unauthorized merchandise. She's provided fodder for the electronic media as well, making work a little easier for everyone, from commentators to joke writers.
Anyhow, they claim that Madonna and Michael Jackson, as you know, are getting ready to make a record together, and the title is going to be Justify My Glove. And
Wherever you turn these days, you're surrounded by Madonna mania. But there was a time when the whole world wasn't obsessed with the Material Girl. That might seem like something off a page from ancient history, but it wasn't really that long ago. In fact, all you have to do is go back to 1957, when the queen of all media was born. But the question is, did she always have the earmarks of someone who would become the biggest star on Earth?
Well, I knew she was different, you know. I knew that, you know what I mean?
Whether or not she was predestined for greatness, Madonna Louise Ciccone spent her early years in the Detroit area, specifically in the suburbs of Pontiac, a town more suited to rearing prospective auto workers than pop goddesses. Her first home was in Harrington Hills, a well-kept subdivision where her father, Silvio, known to his friends as Tony, and her mother, also named Madonna, brought up their family in relative anonymity. This tiny house was home to the Ciccone clan, which eventually included 7 children. Madonna was the oldest daughter, but that didn't necessarily mean that she ruled the roost. Being one of 7 kids meant learning very fast how to get along with others.
You learn how to share, and you'll be on time for dinner, you know what I'm saying?
Madonna was to learn an even more important lesson early on in life. In 1963, her mother, Madonna, died, leaving Silvio without a helpmate and the Ciccone kids without a parental female influence. It was about that time that the younger Madonna began to assert herself as a surrogate mom to the other children, including her older brother, Marty.
Madonna was kind of like the big girl of the family, and she took care of her younger sisters and her younger brothers as well, you know. And so it was a maternal thing also, because who the hell did we have to look to, you know?
Whether she wanted it or not, Madonna found herself with more and more responsibility around the house.
When we was little kids, she was like my father's favorite, because she was, well, not his favorite, but I mean, growing up, her being the oldest girl, she took care of everybody, you know what I mean? Like, everybody, I was older than her, but she took care of me too. She took care of everything when my mother passed away, before my father remarried, you know. She was kind of a ma of the house, so to speak, you know what I'm saying? And one time I busted a window with a rock, by mistake, of course. And she put the snitch on me. The big time snitch. I put Vaseline in her hair when she was sleeping. Took her 3 days to get out. I took an ass whooping for that one, I might add.
She longed to escape the blue-collar life of the suburbs, and she began setting her sights on bigger and better things. She attended this now vacant dance studio in downtown Rochester, Michigan. It was there that she met Christopher Flynn, a dance instructor who introduced her to a side of life she had never previously experienced, including the male gay lifestyle. He escorted the young Madonna to her first gay bar, this club called Menjo's, in the city of Detroit. It was here that Madonna was first exposed to the freedom of expression and lack of inhibition she couldn't find in her small-town schoolmates. Not surprisingly, it wasn't long before she made up her mind that the only place she could go for a break was in the Big Apple. According to her own account, Madonna arrived in Manhattan and asked her cab driver to drop her off wherever the action was. Her cabbie promptly headed for Times Square, where Broadway glamour converges with hardcore sleaze. Ironically, the combination of glamour and sleaze would play a major role in Madonna's onstage persona in the years to come. As Madonna tells it, she wound up in Manhattan with a few dollars in her pocket and no place to stay.
Well, you know, you gotta remember, she didn't come from the bottom of nowhere. Because my dad took care of her, okay? She did not come from nowhere and go to New York not knowing nobody with $10 in her pocket. That's the horseshit story.
It doesn't matter whose story you believe. The important fact is that Madonna did claw her way to the top, and she did it in almost record time. And even found herself relocating to Europe for a short while as the protege to producer Jean-Claude Pellerin and Jean Van Loo, where she could devote virtually all of her energies towards becoming a star as the 1970s drew to a close. By 1982, she had landed her first major recording contract. By this time, there was no stopping her. She was well on her way to superstardom, and her song cemented her reputation as the music world's hottest new talent. Between records, music videos, and live concerts, Madonna's star rose faster than virtually any performer in the early 1980s. She eventually branched out into other media as well, even becoming a movie actress. With each successive year, as her film star ascended, Madonna became more and more famous, more popular, and of course, more controversial. Today, Madonna is the most successful female performer in the world. As a singer, songwriter, dancer, and actress, she has conquered every medium there is. And she always holds the creative reins on all of her pet projects. But her rise to success was accompanied by the media's constant monitoring of her personal life. Her love affair with film legend Warren Beatty, her marriage to actor Sean Penn, and her many well-publicized flirtations have made Madonna the most talked-about entertainer of the 20th century.
And coming up next, we're going to examine the private life of a very public personality. We're going to see just how much control Madonna has over a media more than eager to promote her every move. When we continue with Madonna, the name of the game. I'm standing in front of the massive Warner Brothers production facility here in Burbank, California. It was the Warner Brothers studios that Madonna made her big-budget feature film debut in the Walt Disney production of Dick Tracy, in which she played Breathless Mahoney. This film is noted for having one of the biggest publicity blitzes in media history. Part of this publicity blitz was Madonna's very public affair with the movie's star and director, Warren Beatty.
Madonna and Warren had been dating during the making of the film, causing many to speculate that the longtime bachelor Beatty was about to kiss his single life goodbye. And almost as soon as the film was in the can, so was their love affair. During the film's production, however, Madonna talked about her romance with Beatty at appropriate moments, such as whenever anybody asked her about it. Beatty, on the other hand, remained characteristically mum about the whole thing. Warren is renowned as a man who keeps his private life private.
I know you're worthy of a better question than that, and I'm gonna...
And while Dick Tracy was in the works, Madonna ensured their relationship would be forever imprinted on the consciousness of her fans. She got Beatty to agree to appear in her documentary film Truth or Dare, commenting mostly about Madonna's love affair, with the camera, that is. When Warren said that Madonna exists almost purely for the camera, he was offering up what many believe to be the truest statement in the entire film. In Truth or Dare, fans of Madonna got a good idea what it's like to date a multimedia goddess. Oddly enough, for a man known for having women throw themselves at his feet, Beatty appeared to be the follower, not the leader. And by the time the gala premiere for Dick Tracy rolled around, Warren was there with bells on, while Madonna was nowhere in sight. Although Madonna loves to be in the spotlight, it's all too clear that she's a little picky about who's at the controls. She wants the last word on her publicity, and that makes her a ripe target for an established media that's used to making and breaking stars. The footage you're seeing here has never been released publicly until now. It was taped by a cameraman hoping to get a closer shot of Madonna, and it'll give you a pretty good idea just how much control the media goddess has over her own image.
Put your hands on you first. Just remember that. Don't touch me. I didn't touch you. You grabbed me first. Remember that. No, he had my arm. No, he knows. He knows.
Gentlemen.
What?
Let's.
Wait. Just wait.
Gentlemen.
Madonna's aversion to any publicity that isn't generated by herself is legendary. In public exposure as well as in her artistic pursuits, Madonna wants to be at the helm.
I know it's true, but part of that maternal role is also a control role. You know, you have to give her respect for being able to control everything that's going on around her with regard to her career situation.
But there was one publicity situation in the 1980s that left Madonna completely out of control, and that was her marriage to actor Sean Penn. Madonna and Penn developed a reputation for having one of the rockiest marriages in Hollywood history. While Madonna craved the limelight, husband Sean abhorred it. And when paparazzi surrounded the pair like hungry vultures, Sean often lashed out literally. A number of photographers complained that Penn physically attacked them while Madonna stood by, desperately trying to stop the commotion. On one occasion, Penn was given a brief jail sentence for his behavior.
It's the finest department I've ever been arrested by.
Penn's pugilistic nature humiliated Madonna. But as long as he was in there swinging, there was little she could do but grin and bear the horrendous publicity. After only a few years of marriage, the couple called it quits in January of 1989. Sean's reputed jealousy, coupled with Madonna's love of attention, was speculated to be the powder keg that drove these two passionate performers apart. Whatever the reason, Madonna cited irreconcilable differences in the divorce papers that she served on Sean. One lesson Madonna learned from the whole Sean Penn debacle was never to allow anyone else to be in control of her life. Permitting anyone but herself to call the shots is abhorrent to Madonna, and she insists on complete control whenever she can get away with it. And that attitude even extends to controlling her employees' offstage behavior. One of her show dancers, nicknamed Slam, let this cat out of the bag while guesting on the Joan Rivers TV show.
The last thing we did was the MTV Awards, and then they did this movie, and that's it, working with her, yeah.
Why is that it? I mean, there's no more...
Because she's gonna do a lot of movies, acting, and...
So she broke it up?
Yeah.
Yeah, she stopped the tour.
I want to do my own material anyway.
Did you have to, when you, because we were just out here, you know, talking about gossip, did you have to sign any kind of release saying when you went to work for, I won't talk about it, or I won't talk about it because on the tour? So why are you here?
Comedian and talk show host Joan Rivers has made a career of cutting up famous personalities, and Madonna is no exception. Like it or not, Madonna has been the butt of Joan's humor on more than one occasion.
I want you to take a look at a video that I did 6 months before Madonna came out with her voguing video, and then you tell me why I should not sue that bitch for what I wish. Take a look at that.
While Joan Rivers obviously doesn't have Madonna on a pedestal, there are many others who do. In fact, Madonna's literally on a pedestal at Madame Tussauds Rock Circus Wax Museum in London. This Piccadilly Circus attraction features pop stars, past and present, in various phases of their careers. Their wax figure of Madonna is no dummy when it comes to drawing in patrons. This life-sized, lifelike wax tribute to blonde ambition is one of Madame Tussauds' most recent creations. In England, it's considered an honor to be immortalized in wax at Madame Tussauds. And for a price of what amounts to a few American dollars, this is as close to Madonna as most of her European fans will get. Madonna may always want to control the use of her likeness, but that isn't always possible. Madonna's image packs a powerful wallop, and nowhere is that more evident than at a Madonna impersonator contest. This bar in Madonna's hometown of Detroit recently held a Madonna dance-alike contest. Hundreds of eager patrons packed the place, many cherishing the notion that the Queen herself, the real Madonna, might make a surprise appearance. That never happened, but in the meantime, Madonna fans had to make do with a motley collection of would-be goddesses, most of whom weren't even girls, in place of the real thing. If nothing else, the paparazzi had a field day, and Us magazine covered the event as if the diva herself was on hand. When it comes right down to it, for as much of a publicity monger as she is, Madonna really cherishes her privacy. That's why she never takes her constitutional jog around Central Park, unless she's accompanied by a man of pretty sizable stature. That's why she makes the people around her sign agreements not to discuss her offstage life. Even Madonna's brother, who isn't on her payroll, knows he might be asking for trouble whenever he goes public about his famous sister.
She might probably get pissed off at me for doing this, because it's not authorized. But I gotta do what I gotta do to get the job done.
Getting the job done is exactly what Madonna has on her mind when she's shooting a movie. And that's when she wants privacy more than ever. For instance, on her feature film Body of Evidence, which was shot on location in Portland, Oregon, Madonna ensconced herself in a private townhouse in the city's fashionable riverfront district, rather than staying at a hotel. She came and went just about everywhere via limousine. And she even brought her own limo driver from Los Angeles to do the honors. When she wasn't working, she was usually quietly tucked away in her trailer. And when she was on the job, she went to and from work surrounded by a literal entourage. Her co-star, Willem Dafoe, went solo. Madonna's fans clamored for a glimpse of the goddess. Willem Dafoe went about his business unmolested. Local Portlanders couldn't stay away from the action, doing just about anything to get a look at Madonna. The Queen obliged on more than one occasion, as long as the masses kept their distance. Madonna even said she tried to get out and see the town a little, because the last time she was in Portland, she had little time for sightseeing.
I sort of just saw my hotel and the venue that I played in, so now hopefully I'm going to get a chance to see more of it.
This was a far cry from the reaction of the townspeople of Evansville, Indiana, where Madonna had shot her previous feature film, A League of Their Own. Madonna had made a remark to the press that was interpreted to mean that she thought the city of Evansville was rather boring. As a result, a rally was held in which hundreds of locals staged a protest. And even though Madonna usually reacts to such publicity as though she doesn't give a damn what people think, she later explained how she felt her comments had been misinterpreted.
I said that I felt, isolated.
Indeed, many of the people who actually worked on the Evansville shoot found Madonna to be the epitome of graciousness.
She was nice. I mean, she was a little bit distant, but I'm thinking that's pretty normal considering she probably meets however many people she meets in her life. She meets a lot of people, and she was nice. I mean, some of the other people were a little bit more stuck up, a little bit more to themselves, and she was a little more open. She was a little bit happier, she seemed like, speaking with the people, being around the people, and I guess that's Madonna too. She likes the fact that everybody, adores her, I guess.
It seems like no matter what kind of public mischief Madonna gets involved in, her fans only see her best side. Coming up next, we're going to examine the wild and often wacky world of Madonna fans. Fanatics, if you will, when we continue with Madonna, the name of the game. This is Warner Brothers Records, the label that made Madonna a superstar. In 1992, the Queen of Pop signed a revolutionary deal with Warner's parent company, Time Warner, that made her much more than just a run-of-the-mill superstar.
Her 11-year, $60 million contract with Time Warner makes her the wealthiest performer in all of pop music. If her fans think she was the material girl way back in the mid-1980s, brother, they ain't seen nothing yet.
myself personally, I thought it was great. It's exciting, you know. You're like, God damn, you know, this is great, man. She's got the juice. You know, do your thing, baby, you know. Nobody that I'm related to, or actually nobody I know, even conceived of the level, the international acclaim that she would be rewarded from her efforts, which she is justly deserved. That it would happen the way it did, you know. And it was just such a big thing. It was like, whoa, you know?
Even her family agrees that few entertainers have worked as hard as Madonna to reach the top of their profession. And while Madonna alone was responsible for most of her success, even the goddess herself acknowledges that she'd be nowhere without her millions of adoring fans.
My name is Shane Gritzinger.
Hi, my name is Andre Jacques.
And we are huge Madonna fans.
Huge Madonna fans,
absolutely love her. She's like the queen, and we are her servants.
Those are the kind of comments you hear when you attend the annual Madonnathon convention in Madonna's hometown of Detroit, Michigan. The convention started in the early 1990s, and every August 16th, which just happens to be Madonna's birthday, fans from around the world flock to Middle America to celebrate their one-sided love affair with the world's richest pop star.
Yeah, I was just talking to somebody that was here from France. He actually runs a Madonna fan club in France, so he came to promote his thing. There's somebody from Portugal came here. We had people from Sweden, all over the place.
And even though Madonna hasn't shown up at any of these conventions, her die-hard fans still hold out hope that maybe, just maybe, she'll grace them with an appearance.
Madonna's always knows what's the latest fad, what the newest thing is. She did it with Vogue. She knew it was coming on the underground scene. She brought it into the mainstream. Rumor is with her new record, she's experimenting with the sounds of rave, which is a very intense house sound. She'll obviously try to bring that into the mainstream. She knows what's current and knows what to bring out that'll sound different in the mainstream. She knows what'll be the new hot thing, how to stay on top. I think she'll do that for many years to come.
Even without the presence of Madonna, her fans have plenty to keep them occupied and entertained. There are exhibits of Madonna memorabilia and products, vendors selling copies of her albums and CDs. There's even an informal talent contest in which everybody is invited to strut their stuff. You don't even have to look like Madonna to get into the action. And of course, no Madonnathon would be complete without someone wearing spiky cone breasts. It's a testimony to Madonna's phenomenal popularity that major media outlets, including MTV, even bother to show up. This Madonnathon was covered by all the major networks and was featured on CNN continuously throughout Madonna's birthday. This Chicago-based celebrity impersonator brought the house down with her dead-on impression of Madonna, and in turn brought her the first prize in the talent contest. Judging from the reaction of the conventioneers, as well as the media, you'd think this gal was the real thing. Is it live, or is it a Madonna video?
In the Like a Prayer video, she's got short, brown, sort of curly hair, and that's what my hair is. And I'd have people say, you know, you look sort of like Madonna. And I would, oh, thank you, because I love Madonna, but I never thought before that I looked like her. And that's when people started telling me I looked like her. Then she went and did Express Herself and went back to being blonde, and nobody thought I looked like her anymore. So I went out and got a blonde wig, and that's how that happened.
This young Madonna impersonator is what you might call a moderate admirer. But there are millions of Madonna fans who take the whole thing a lot more seriously. And the Madonnathon convention brought them out in droves.
I think my favorite thing about her is her ability to never give up and always wanting more, and like don't care what people say about you, just do what you want to do, like follow your heart, and like she'll do what she wants. She'll always get her way no matter what. Like I think she'll get her way. Like so what if they say they banned her Justify My Love video? Like she made more money than she intended to in the first place when they went on sale. Like lucky her. So
Others respect Madonna's success as a businesswoman.
I like her for her business smarts. She has a down-to-earth business smarts. That's the main thing I like about her, because she's knowing what she's doing. No one else knows, none of the other singers out there or musicians know what they're doing except for her. Because she's the one that's really been around, so she's really the one that's the biggest, and she really owns and runs the music industry. She's changed it, and she's basically started it, in a sense.
Some of her fans fancy a rather spiritual relationship with the ethereal girl.
I don't know, she's like a religion to me, almost. I mean, she's not my religion or anything. I really don't have a religion. But if I were to, like, if anyone asked me what my religion is, I'd say, like, Madonnaism or something.
I think her morals are perfect. I mean, in every way. Some obviously lots of religious groups have problems with that, and that's unfortunate because of the sexual content she puts in her shows and in her personality. And I think we're all based on sexuality. We're all human, and it's all natural. And she's not afraid to show it. She's not an hypocrite. She shows it. She shows all human has it. And I think it's very good, and it's something that should be brought out in society.
You know, people like ridicule and bash Madonna for dressing like how she dresses, but she dresses like that for a reason, because for one, she's probably comfortable like that, and two, she's rebelling against traditional values, and three, she just eats the attention. She's, you know, like a hog for attention, and there's nothing wrong with that.
I think she's unique, and like some people think she's really gross, you know, because some things she does, but I just think she's really unique, and she does what she wants to do, and I like listening to her music because it makes me feel, you know, happy and makes me be in a good mood.
But Madonna's unprecedented stardom doesn't always put everyone in a good mood. Her brother Marty has had to deal with his share of Madonna fanatics on more than one occasion.
Every time she goes on tour or a movie comes out, and we're talking the Wall of China with friends over here, circled around the globe twice. We were just thinking about you. Can you get us some tickets? I'm like, hey.
You can bet the rest of Madonna's family, still living in Detroit, will be on the receiving end of some of the major fan attention. Every year, eager conventioneers are treated to a bus tour of Madonna landmarks in and around the Detroit area. And this means Madonna's family is going to be treated to some big-time invasion of privacy. One of the first stops is the House of Ciccone. That's where Madonna's father lives in the quiet suburb of Rochester. In fact, Madonna's dad can often be seen working in the yard, to the delight of her obsessive fans.
I met Madonna's father. No, excuse me. I thought I did. I imagined I did. We saw him. We took a tour past her house, and I saw her father. He was shoveling with the shovel. I'm sure she bought him a shovel. She bought him a tractor and a chainsaw. So why not a shovel? It was wonderful.
Other highlights include a look at Madonna's old high school, the church she played hooky from, and the Five and Dime she frequented in downtown Rochester. The all-time favorite landmark is Red Knapp's Dairy Bar, where some of Madonna's first dates took place. And of course, what tour of Madonna's hometown would be complete without a trip to Dunkin' Donuts, where Madonna used to eat donuts? All of this might seem a bit much to the casual Madonna fan, but to her die-hard worshippers, it's ridiculously sublime. And with that in mind, let's move on to the sublimely ridiculous. Of all her wild and wacky fans, probably no one is wilder or wackier than Greg Tanian, seen here with Madonna. That's also Greg Tanian, but in his alter ego, Queer Donna. Actually, Queer Donna is a New York-based nightclub entertainer and is somewhere in the neighborhood of 350 pounds. Now, before you say there goes the neighborhood, listen to what Queer Donna has to say on the subject.
We're going to continue to do our shows, and we also throw a lot of things in, like Madonna. We go over the line that Madonna dares not go over. Like, we have priests and nuns and like, you know, all sorts of sick shit. But It's fun. I mean, it's all tongue in cheek. My mom's come to see the shows. She thinks it's great. You know, she's been very supportive, and it's really cool. I mean, I'm gonna be the next Divine.
The Divine Mr. Q, or is that the Divine Ms. Q, began impersonating Madonna several years ago. Our cameras managed to sneak a peek at his dance routine, which according to Queer Donna, is a guaranteed crowd pleaser. When this guy brings the house down, he really, well, you get the picture.
That's it, I'm not gonna...
Even though Queer Donna has made his presence known to the world's most popular pop star, his attitude about Madonna is something less than worshipful.
I mean, any celebrity you meet, you know, Madonna, it's like, Madonna, you are doing this to yourself because she doesn't like the fans outside the house, and fine, I can understand that. But look, you know, you, Madonna, you gave me a picture of me and you, and that's all I've ever wanted. And I went away. I never came back. That's all these kids want, is these kids want a picture of her, or a, you know, or a hello, or an autograph. And the fact is that you meet other celebrities, they give you an autograph, they give you a picture, and you go away. Ciao, bye, bye, thank you for buying my album, ciao. Madonna, on the other hand, it's like, fuck you, you know, I mean, fuck off. I mean, she's not very, you know, you've got to understand, these people are buying your albums, honey, they are paying your rent. They're buying your apartment. Big deal, stop 2 seconds, smile, say, all right, kids, thanks for coming, ciao, here's an autograph, all right, yes, it's a pain in the ass, yes. But, you know, you make $60 million, honey. You know, it's the price of fame. I look forward to it. I mean, I look forward to it completely.
Don't we all? It would be pretty hard for even Madonna to top that in terms of outrageousness. But if anyone can, it's Madonna. Coming up next, we're going to take a look at just how far Madonna can go and will go when we continue with Madonna, the name of the game. You know, if a couple of years ago you'd have suggested that a major celebrity was going to write a book based on her sexual fantasies, people might have thought you were a little crazy. If you'd have gone so far as to suggest this major celebrity was also going to be depicted in this book with everything from bald-headed lesbians to a Dalmatian dog, people might have thought you were a bit off your rocker. And if you were going to go so far as to suggest that this book was going to be bound in aluminum covers, like a notebook, and sell for $50 a copy, someone might have reserved you a padded room.
What might have seemed like a far-fetched scenario a few years back is now far-flung reality. In October of 1992, Madonna pulled her wildest stunt yet when Warner Books published her racy little picture book titled Sex. The release of Madonna's sex book prompted many to remark that the Queen of Controversy had finally gone too far. And considering Madonna's track record for shaking things up, that's saying one heck of a lot. Madonna's appearances have always stirred up controversy. When her controversial documentary Truth or Dare was released, she also brought some family problems to light. While Madonna's older brother Marty feels that the film gave him exposure, it wasn't necessarily the kind of exposure he was looking for.
Yeah, there was more people that were aware of me. Unfortunately, the industry types did not approach me as much as I thought they would, because she kind of put me in this light like I was this crazy son of a bitch, which I was at that time. It's behind me now, and I did get wild, and I admit it. Now, I'm just going to be honest. However, I don't blame her for that. It's just something I had. It was a phase I was going through. I came out of it, and now I'm out there trying to do something collectively and creatively, and the public didn't know this, so you know, hopefully through this they'll know a little bit more about me.
Well, one thing's for sure. Truth or Dare let audiences know a whole lot more about Madonna. At least the side of Madonna she was willing to expose to the cameras. Since she was the executive producer of the film, it's pretty clear that audiences were seeing exactly what she wanted them to see, and only what she wanted them to see. In 1992, she appeared at a Los Angeles fashion show benefiting the American Foundation for AIDS Research, one of Madonna's many pet charities. The show featured appearances by some of the biggest names in pop music, all modeling clothes created by one of Madonna's favorite designers, Jean-Paul Gaultier. And although the audience responded enthusiastically to all of the show's celebrity models, Madonna herself wasn't about to be outdone. This was her show, and she was going to make it clear who the real attraction was. And when she removed her top, exposing her double-barreled star power, the crowd went wild. Runways haven't been used like that one since the glory days of Minsky's Burlesque. Enthusiastic fans had to be literally dragged away by security people as they tried to mount the stage. Madonna had done it once again. She had managed to take a run-of-the-mill idea, a charity fashion show, and turn it into an event that wound up on the evening news on virtually every TV station in America. Hot on the heels of her sexy strip show came the sexiest salvo of all, Sex as Told by Madonna. The book consisted of what many considered softcore pornography. On its pages we find Madonna posing with boys, Madonna posing with girls, Madonna posing with, you name it, it was in there. To hike up the sleaze factor, Madonna even scheduled photo shoots for the book at the old Chelsea Hotel in New York. She also shot on location at an all-male burlesque house known as the Gaiety. Madonna's fondness for sleaze seemed to hit its zenith in terms of location photography alone. And what a motley crew she assembled for the book's co-star models. She even did a series of stills with Vanilla Ice. But former husband Sean and former boyfriend Warren are nowhere in sight. Another of Madonna's leading men who managed to escape the pages of Sex is Willem Dafoe. Her co-star from Body of Evidence has strictly a business relationship with Madonna. But his on-camera scenes with her in the movie prompted yet another controversy. Just days after Madonna's book hit the stores, word got out that Body of Evidence was having trouble getting an R rating. And with Madonna involved, you know that it doesn't mean that it was in any danger of getting a PG. Body of Evidence was actually being considered for something a little stronger than R. And that means the dreaded NC-17, or worse yet, X as in X-rated. Madonna in an X-rated movie? After the release of her sex book, it would hardly have come as a surprise. The trouble surrounding Body of Evidence seems to have arisen, so to speak, because of some steamy footage between Madonna and Willem Dafoe. In this screen adventure, Madonna plays a woman on trial for causing her husband's death by having sex with him. Dafoe plays a married attorney who falls in love with Madonna's character. Just what was Madonna trying to prove with this latest assault on conventional sensibilities?
And the reason I'm doing this movie is because it's a great movie. It's a great part for me, and I mean, there's no strange, manipulative thing going on here, oh God, I'm gonna get this role now, and now everyone's gonna take me seriously. That's not, I'm not even thinking about that.
Well, when it comes to shaking things up and turning convention inside out, Madonna is taken very seriously indeed. Insiders are already asking themselves, what can she do to top herself? How can she be any more controversial than she already is? Well, if there's a way to do it, Madonna will find it. And as long as audiences crave excitement, as long as they breathlessly await her next outrageous move, Madonna will be there, on the job, providing controversy in spades. Saint, savior, sinner, siren, slut. Madonna has portrayed all of these. You can love her or you can despise her. The only thing you can't do is ignore her. As long as she's made an impact, that's all that matters. That's always been the name of her game. And no one has ever played that game more skillfully or with more conviction than Madonna.